Good morning, everyone. Let us start this practical session. So, in this practical session, we are going to study the PID controller for the temperature control of the furnace. So, aim of this experiment is to control the temperature of the muffle furnace to desired value by using a PID controller. So, this is the aim to control the temperature of the furnace to desired value, that is the set value, using the PID controller. Okay. So you must have studied the PID controller in the control system. So basically PID controller, it consists, so P stands for the proportional. So this is the proportional controller. Then I stands for integral controller. And D stands for derivative. Okay, so by using the combination of P, I and D, we will control the temperature of the furnace. Okay, so first we will see the schematic diagram for the furnace. So this is the schematic diagram for the heating process. So it consists one heating coil. So heating coil, it receives the current through this controller and from this power supply. So depending on the current passing through this heating coil will generate the temperature. Okay. So this temperature, it is controlled with the help of this controller. So basically this is a PID controller. So depending on the values of the constant for proportional, integral and derivative action, this controller will control the current which passes through this coil, and then it will control the temperature in the furnace. Okay, so this part is a furnace. Now the desired temperature, so it is nothing but the set point. Okay, so as per the value that is required, we can give the temperature. So suppose the required temperature, it is 250 degrees Celsius. So this 250 degrees Celsius, it will become the set point. Okay, or this set value. So it is represented as a SV. Okay, so this is the desired value. So this set value, it is given to the controller. Okay, and then depending on the values of PID, this controller will start controlling the current, and then it will control the output temperature. Okay, so this output temperature, that is the temperature in the furnace. Okay, it is sensed by the sensor. So this sensor, it acts as a feedback element, and this feedback, that is a temperature, it is given to the controller. Okay, through this summing point. So this is the summing point. So this summing point will generate the error signal, okay, by comparing the set value and the actual value. Okay, so basically sensor, it will supply the process value. So process value means the temperature in the furnace. Okay, and the difference between the set value and the process value, it will generate the error signal. So this error signal, it is given as a feedback to the as an input to the controller, and depending on this error signal, this controller will take the desired action. Okay, and then it will control the temperature so that we will get the final temperature which is close to the set value. Okay, so now we will draw the control system diagram, that is a block diagram. So this is the simple block diagram for the temperature control process. So here the input, it is nothing but the desired value or the set value. Okay, so this is the SV, that is the set value of the temperature. Okay, so this will be in the degree Celsius or the degree Kelvin. Okay, so this set value is given to the controller or the process directly. Okay, so here process means it is the heating process. Okay, that means the current will flow through the heating coil and it will generate the temperature. Okay, and here output is nothing but the actual value. So this is the actual value in that furnace of the temperature. Okay, so actual value also called as process value. So it is represented as a PV. Okay, so ideally we will expect that the set value, it must be equal to the process value. Okay, but to reach to the process set value, okay, process value will take some finite time. Okay, and we want to control this finite time as well as the error by adjusting the controller values. Okay, so this diagram is without the controller. Okay, so here the output temperature in the furnace. So if this is a furnace and this is the heating coil, okay, then we have one feedback element, that is the sensor. So this sensor will sense the actual temperature or the process value in that furnace. So here you will get the process value inside the furnace. Okay, so this process value, it is sensed by the temperature sensor. So generally it is a thermocouple. Okay, so here we have the thermocouple as a temperature sensor, and this signal, it is given to the summing block. Okay, so this summing block will add the process set value and the feedback, that is a process value. Okay, and then it will generate the error signal. Okay, and depending on this error signal, the current will be adjusted. Okay, and then temperature will be controlled. Okay, so now we will see how we can add the controller so that we can effectively control the output temperature. So this is the control system when we add the controller in the forward path. Okay, so here we have the process set value, that is a required value. Okay, so this signal, it is first given to this controller. So this block is nothing but the controller. Okay, then this controller will give the control signal. This is a control signal which is generated by the controller. So generally it is taken as a u of t. Okay, and here after summing point, we will get this signal which is nothing but the error signal. So it is represented as a e of t. Okay, so here control signal, it is given to the process, that is the heating process. So this is the heating process, and then we will get the final output, that is nothing but the process value. Okay, now to compare the set value and the process value, we need one sensor. So sensor, that is nothing but thermocouple. It will give the signal to the summing point. So basically this is a comparator. It will compare the set value and the process value, and then it will generate the error signal. So basically this error signal is nothing but the set value minus the process value. Then controller will decide the proper action to be taken on the error signal, and then it will generate the control signal. Okay, so what is basically this controller? So this controller is nothing but the PID controller. So controller has three elements. One is the proportional, second is the integral, and third is the derivative. Okay, so this is the actual representation of that controller by considering these three types of control. So here first block is nothing but the proportional. Okay, so proportional is represented as a Kp. So basically this is a gain of the proportional controller. Then we have the integral action. So basically integral is nothing but it will integrate the error signal and then it will generate the control signal. Okay, so we have the integral action like this. So it is ki 1 upon s. So in the Laplace 1 upon s, it represents the integration. It will generate the control output. And last we have the derivative. So for the derivative, we have the gain as a kd. So basically this is the derivative constant. Ki is the integral constant and kp is the proportional constant. Okay, and then this kd is multiplied by the s. So in the Laplace, derivative is represented as a s. So it will generate the derivative of the error signal. Okay, and all this they are added to get the required controlled signal. So all the outputs from proportional, then integral, and from the derivative, they are added at this summing point, and then it will generate one combined control signal. Okay. So this is the controlled signal, which is a u of t, and then this controlled signal will decide the proper action for the heating process, so that we can achieve the process value which is equal to the set value. So here this is the process, that is the heating process, and finally we will get the process value. Okay, and then we have the feedback element, which is nothing but the sensor. So this is given to the comparator, which is a summing point for the set value and the process value, and it will generate the error signal. Okay, so basically the job of PID controller is to take the proper action on the error signal, okay, depending on this constant Kp, Ki, and Kd, and it will generate the control signal which will control the process, so that we can achieve the process value which is quite close to the set value. Okay, and also we can reduce the unwanted oscillation in the process and the steady state error. So the main objective of the PID controller is to achieve the output value equal or close to the process value, then to minimize the steady state error, to reduce the oscillations in the process value, that is nothing but output, and also to achieve the rapid response or the fast response. Okay, so all these actions, they depend on the constant that we set in the PID controller. So it depends on the Kp value, then Ki value, and the Kd value. Okay, so in this experiment we have to observe the effect of the variation in the Kp, variation in the Ki value, and variation in the Kd value. Okay, okay, now we will understand how exactly the Kp, Ki, and Kd operates the error. Okay, So suppose we want to control the temperature. So our desired value is nothing but the set value, that is the SV, that is equal to 100 degrees Celsius. Okay. And the room temperature. So temperature right now, it is equal to 0 degrees Celsius. Okay. So when we give the set value, we will expect the process value, that means the actual value in the furnace. So if this is the furnace, then initial value is 0 degrees Celsius, and we want to raise this value to the 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, so that we need to adjust the proper current in this coil. Okay. And suppose this is the output for that process. So it starts from the 0. So here the red line, it represents the set value. So this is the set value, and here the set value is nothing but the 100 degrees Celsius. So as we give the input as 100 degrees Celsius, the controller, so if this is a controller, okay, it will start adjusting the current in this coil, okay, and then it will start heating the furnace. Okay. So as the furnace is heating, its temperature will increase, and then it will try to reach to the set value. Okay. And controller will try to control this output temperature, that is the process value, which is quite close to the set value, and it may oscillate depending on the control parameters, that means the value of Kp, Ki, and the Kd value. Okay, so our aim is we want to minimize these oscillations. So you can observe here the output temperature. So here the yellow line is nothing but the process value. So process value, it reaches to the set value, okay, but it doesn't remain constant at 100 degrees Celsius. Okay. So in such cases, system becomes oscillatory. Okay. And to minimize these oscillations, also you can observe here. So we have here some error. So we want to minimize this error. Okay. So to minimize this error, to minimize this oscillation, so that we will get one very steady output like this. So if this is the required value, then we will expect the output must be like this. Okay. So there should not be any error. So error should be approximately 0. Okay. And there should not be any oscillation in the system. So for that, we have to adjust these parameters Kp, Ki, and Kd. So first we will understand how this parameter control the error. So first we have the proportional controller. So proportional controller, its constant, or it is called as a gain, it is represented as a Kp. Okay. Or sometime in some manufacturer represent this Kp as a inverse, so it becomes 1 upon Kp. Okay. So basically this Kp multiplies the error signal. So suppose we have the error signal. So if we represent the error as the E of t, and this is the time. Okay. And we have the error, that is the set value minus the process value like this. And we add the proportional controller in the forward path. So we have here summing point. Then we have only Kp. Okay, and then we have the process, that is a heating process. So here we have the process, and then we have the actual output, that is the process value. Here we have the set value, then this is the feedback. So we have the sensor. So at this point we will get the E of t. Okay, so basically this output which is generated, that is nothing but the U of t. This is the control output. Okay, so here controlled output U of t is equal to Kp into E of t. Okay, and there is one bias value which is always one constant value for a particular controller. Okay, so this bias value or a bias constant is a Kp. Okay, that means even if you don't use the Kp value, even if Kp goes 0, still we will get the output which will control the process. Okay, so this Kb value, it is the constant which is set by the manufacturer for that controller. Okay, so basically this Kp, it will just multiply the error. So you can observe here, suppose we have the positive error like this. Okay, so suppose here the error value, let us take it is 5, just take one constant. Okay, 5 means what? We have the suppose set value, this is equal to 100 degrees Celsius. Okay, and the process value, it is equal to 95 degrees Celsius. So error E of t, it will become 100 minus 95, that is equal to 5 degrees Celsius. Okay, so just take this 5 as a constant value. So error will be 5. So this 5, it will be multiplied by this Kp constant. So Kp into error is 5. So it will generate the controlled signal as a 5 Kp. Okay, and this controlled signal will then control the heating process. So basically the use of controller is, proportional controller is, so if this is the set value, and this is the response of the actual process. Okay, that means it represents the process value. Then our aim is we want to control this response, so we will get the fast response. Okay, also it will minimize this error, and for that we have to increase the Kp value. Okay, so if you increase the Kp value for a particular process, then we will get the response like this. So you can compare these two responses. So this is giving the fast response. Okay, and also it will minimize the error. But sometimes if you increase the Kp beyond the optimum value, then system may oscillate. So you can have the response like this, and it will become the oscillator. Okay, it will reach to the set value, but the response will keep fluctuating about the set value. Okay, so this is the effect of the Kp value. So basically Kp, it will just multiply the error signal. So if the error signal is positive, that means if the set value is less than the, sorry, process value is less than the set value, then error signal will be positive. And if the process value is greater than the set value, then error signal will be negative. Okay, so the use of Kp signal is just to amplify the error signal on the positive side and on the negative side. Okay, and its effect will be like this. So it will change the time of the response. So sometimes it will give the rapid response depending on the Kp value. Okay, and it will give the slow response. So we have to adjust the Kp value so that we will get the optimum response without any oscillation. Okay, then second controller, it is the integral controller. So integral controller is represented as a ki. So this is the integral gain. Okay, so basically integral controller integrates the error signal and it generates the controlled signal. Okay, so this is the block diagram representation for the integral controller. So this is the block diagram representation for the integral controller. So here ki upon s is nothing but the integral controller. Okay, so the use of integral controller is it will integrate the error signal. So basically it works on the integration. So here we have the error signal as a u of s, that is in the s domain. Okay, it is multiplied with the ki into s. So basically 1 upon s, it represents the integration in the s domain. Okay, so in the time domain we will have the control output, that is a u, as a u of t. This is equal to the ki into integration of the error signal with respect to time, that is a u of t into dt. Okay, so suppose we have the error signal with respect to time like this. Then the integral controller will just integrate this and it will try to find out this area. So basically integration means it is the area under the curve. So it will integrate error signal with respect to time. Okay, so basically integral controller, it studies the history of the error, and depending on the history it tries to control the process. So it will generate this controlled output, that is a u of s or u of t, like this ki into integration u of t into dt. Okay, so how this action is being taken, we can understand with one example. So suppose we want to control the temperature to 10 degrees Celsius. Okay, and the actual temperature, that is the ambient temperature, it is equal to 0 degrees Celsius. So here we have two graphs. The first graph, it represents the error, that is the e of t. So here error e of t is nothing but the difference between the process set value and the process value. Okay, so initially when time t is 0, we have the error. So let us take this time. So when time t is 0 second, error signal will be 10 minus 0, that is equal to 10 degree or 10 only. Okay, so here initially we have the error, which is the maximum error. Okay, then this process we start heating that furnace. Okay, and suppose the temperature, it becomes 1 degree. So this temperature start rising and it becomes 1 degree. Okay, so after 1 second we will get the error as a 10 minus 1 degree. Okay, so it will become the 9. So here we will get the error as a 9. So this controller will integrate this. So basically it will try to find out this complete area. Okay, and then it will generate the controlled output, that is the u of t. So suppose this is 1 second, this is a 2 second. Initially we have the error 10, then it will becomes 9. So here we have the 9. So what is this integration? And let us take this ki value we set as a 1. Okay, so total area will be 10 into 1 plus 9 into 2. Okay, so this will be, it is 28. Okay, so first it will generate the, after 1 second it will generate this as the output. So 10 into 1, and then it will control this process. Okay, so this is a 10. After 2 seconds it will generate the output u of t as a 10 plus 9 into 2, 9 into 1, so it will become 19. So this is the 19. Okay, so temperature rises to 2 degrees Celsius, so error become 8. Okay, so after 3 seconds, the controlled output will be this total area. Okay, so it will become, so here 8, so we have to add 8 into 19, so it will become 27. So this is 27, this is 19, this is 10. So similarly, the integral action will integrate the error signal on the positive side, also on the negative side. Okay, and then it will generate the output signal. So we will get the output like this. So this is the controlled output. So what is the effect of this output? Basically, this output, it generates the amount of current which is supplied to the heating coil. So here we have the controller. Okay, this controller means this constant values Kp, Ki and Kd, and this controller will decide the how much current to be supplied to this heating coil, so that we will get the desired temperature. Okay, so this is how the control action is carried out by using the integral controller. Basically, it try to integrate the error signal and then it will generate the output signal. Okay, this output signal then control the output current which is given to the heating coil. Next, we have the derivative controller. So derivative controller, it will try to find out the slope of the error curve. So if you have the error curve like this is the E of t and this is the time. Okay, so derivative action will be, if this is the error signal and we have the controller, so basically this is E of s in the s domain, this is the Kd and into s, so it will generate the controlled output which is given to the furnace, and then we will get the output temperature, and this is the feedback, that is a sensor. So in the time domain, we will have the controlled output, that is a u of t, which is generated by this controller. It is equal to Kd and differentiation. S represent the differentiation, so it is d by dt of the error signal E of t. Okay, so basically derivative controller, it find out how fast the set value or the process value is approaching to the set value. Okay, and depending on that, it will generate the control output, and then it will control the current in the coil. Okay, so here you can observe, if this is the error signal varying with respect to time, then at every time instant it will try to find out the slope. Okay, so this d by dt of the error signal, it is nothing but the slope. So you can observe here. So when error is positive, we will get the positive slope, and when error is negative, we will get the negative slope. So the derivative controller, it will find out the slope of the error and time graph, and from this it will predict how fast the system is approaching to the desired value. Okay, so depending on that, it will control the current which is given to the heating coil. So it will control the current supplied to heating coil. So basically it will forecast. So basically it forecasts the temperature value after few seconds, depending on that slope, and then it automatically control the current which is given to the furnace. Okay, so this is the derivative action. So now we have to combine all these three elements: proportional, derivative, and the integral. Okay, and then we have to control the output temperature. So now we will see what is the effect of this proportional, derivative, and the integral controller on the output process. That means if you increase the Kp value or if you decrease the Kp value, what is the effect? So first we will see if you change the value of Kp, that is a proportional controller. Okay, so Kp if you increase the Kp value, then it will increase the response. So increase the response, that means it gives the rapid response. Okay, so this statement is true if you are using the Kp, and if you are using the proportional controller as a 1 upon Kp, then if you increase the Kp value, it will decrease the response. That means it will give the slow response. So this is the slow response. Also, if you increase the Kp value beyond the optimum value, then it will oscillate the system. That means the output will not be stable like this. So if this is the desired value or the set value, and this is the process value, then it will reach to the actual value, but it will oscillate about that. So this is the oscillatory response. Okay, and also if the Kp value is very low, then it will create the steady state error. So it will cause the steady state error. That means if this is the set value or the required temperature and Kp is very low, then we will get the response like this. And this is nothing but the steady state error. And therefore we have to choose the optimum value. Okay, okay, now we will see the effect of the integral parameter. This is the integral controller. So for the integral controller, if you increase the Ki value, then it will reduce the steady state error. And also if the Ki is too high, then it will cause the overshoot. Okay, so what is meaning of this steady state, reduce steady state error and cause the overshoot? So suppose this is the desired value and we get the output like this. Then because of the integral action, it will reduce this error. Okay, so if you compare the proportional controller, and if this is the error because of the proportional controller, and if you add, so here we have only the Kp value. Okay, if you add the Ki value, then the combined output will be like this. Okay, so it will minimize the error. So this error will be minimized. And suppose this is the overshoot. So this is called as overshoot. So here if you have the Ki value let us take as a 5. Okay, and if you increase to very high value, let us take this as a 20. Okay, then the output will be like this. So it will increase the overshoot. So we have to choose the proper value of the Ki. Okay, so this overshoot will be minimum, and the effect of derivative action. So derivative action or this derivative gain, it will reduce the overshoot. And also it will minimize the steady state error. So because of that, we will get the output like this, which is more stable. So we will expect such type of output. So we will use all three controllers, Kp, Ki, and the Kd. Okay. So we have to observe the effect of this controller to an actual heating process. So the combined output when we add all three controllers will be. So this is the combined output. The controlled output which is generated, it will be equal to Kp into error signal E of t plus integral constant Ki into integration of the error signal E of t into dt plus the proposed derivative constant Kd and derivative of the error signal, that is the E of t. Okay, so this is the complete controlled output when we are using the three controllers, proportional, integral, and the derivative. Okay, and because of that, we will get the very stable output. So suppose this is the set value or the desired value, and this is the process value. Okay, or we will expect the output like this. If this is the set value, okay, so here error is approximately 0 for both the cases. Okay, there is no overshoot. Okay, and also there is no oscillation. So this is the combined effect of using all three controllers, proportional, derivative, and the integral. Okay, so we will see this control action by the controller for the actual heating process. So this is the PID trainer apparatus. So basically this is a furnace. Okay, so here we have the two values. One, the red value is nothing but the process value, that means actual temperature inside this furnace. Okay, and here set value, which is represented as a green. Okay, so here the set value is 150 degree and the process value is 142 degree. So we have to control the process value by using that controller. Okay, so we will see what is the effect of the various constants Kp, Ki, and the Kd. So this is the total furnace, and there is one fan which is used to create the disturbance. Okay, so when we turn on that fan, then it will drop the temperature. Now this is the PID software. With the help of the software, we can monitor the output value, okay, and also we can adjust the process parameters, that is a Kp, Ki, and Kd. So here you can give the process value and set value. Okay, so here this SV, it represents the set value, that is equal to 50. Okay, so we will change this and we will make it 150. So right now the set value is 150. That means we require the temperature in the furnace as a 150 degrees Celsius. Okay, and arbitrary I have given the derivative gain, that is a constant Kd. Here it is a D only, and the proportional gain is represented as a P only. Okay, so I have set this value as a 4 and 7. This is just arbitrary. We have to observe if you change the values, what is the effect on the process value. So you can observe on this graph. So this green line, it gives this step response, step input. Okay, so step input we have given as a 150 degrees Celsius, and here red, it represents the process value. So depending on these two parameters, this process value will change. So you can observe here, because of the constant Kp and the Kd, the process value is slowly approaching to the set value, that is a 150 degrees Celsius. Okay, but still there is some error. Okay, so if we change this value, then either we can minimize this error or we can increase that error depending on the value of Kp constant and the Kd constant. So now we change that constant. So now I have changed the constant. So I have increased the process value, increased the proportional value, that is a proportional constant, to 12, and derivative constant is same, that is equal to 4. Okay, so we will say if you increase the P value, what is the effect on the output. So you can observe the difference between first and second output. So second output, there is a increase in the steady state error. Okay, that means here if you increase the Kp value, steady state error is increasing. Okay, so now we have to minimize this error. So now here you can observe I have decreased the Kp value. Okay, so Kp value you can observe here, P value is equal to 2, I value is 0. Okay, but when we set the P value as a 2, then process value is approaching to the 150 degrees Celsius, but it is oscillating about that 150 degrees Celsius. Okay, So here on the output graph, you can observe the effect of the various parameters. So here we have set value as a 250 degrees Celsius, and we have adjusted the Kp value. Here P means what? It is a proportional constant, that is a Kp, that is equal to 36. It is a very high. Okay. So when we increase the Kp value to very high value, then we will get the large error. So this is the condition when we are using 1 upon Kp as a proportional controller. So this is the error signal, and it will generate the output signal, which is given to the process. Okay. That means if you increase the Kp value, it will increase this error. So now we have reduced the P value, and we have added the integral value. So the combined effect of this P and I controller. So here we have the combined controller P plus I, that is a proportional plus integral action. Okay. So proportional value, we have reduced this value to a constant value 2. Set value is our 100, and integral value we have added as a 48. Okay. So you can observe here our 100 degrees Celsius, it becomes the set value. Okay. So this is represented by this green line, and this red line, it represents the output. So you can observe for some time we get the overshoot. Okay. And then this overshoot, it gradually reduces. Okay. And then it almost becomes constant, but error is very low. So this is the effect of the integral action. Now we will see the combined effect of proportional and derivative action. So this is proportional plus derivative action. Okay. Here integral value is 0. We have set the derivative value as a 12. Okay. So effect of derivative action is it will try to minimize the overshoot. Okay. So if you compare this value and if you compare this value, then it has reduced this overshoot value, and then system is oscillatory. Okay. So to minimize this oscillation, we have to add the integral value. So now this is the combined effect of the proportional, integral, and derivative. So we have to adjust these proper parameters: proportional value, integral, and derivative value. So set value is 250, proportional value we have set as a 6, integral is 48, and derivative is 12. Okay. And then we get the very stable output where the error is almost 0. This green line is the set value. You can observe here. This is equal to 250. Okay. Initially temperature was 200, and from 200, this is the process value. So because of the combined action, we get the stable output, which is a non-oscillatory. Okay. And as well as steady state error is 0. And if you set all these values as a 0, that means P value 0, Ki value 0, and D value 0. That means we are removing the controller, and error is directly given to the process. So in that case, this process will have the on-off controller. Okay. On-off means what? When we set the temperature 100 degrees Celsius, okay, then after a particular time, so there is some limit. So let us take this as a 105 degrees Celsius. At this point, this controller will automatically turn off the current supply to the process. So at this point, it will turn off the controller, turn off the current supply. It will remain off till the temperature drops to the lower limit. At this point, current supply will be on. Okay, it will remain on till the maximum value. Again, it will go off. So in this way, the controller will remain on and off for a particular time. And then process will be oscillatory like this. So this is the action of the on-off controller. Okay. So this is how, by adjusting the proper parameters Kp, Ki, and Kd, we can control the output temperature. Okay.